Jagannatha. Yeah, it is actual Jagannatha. And this, in the top right, it's supervv. And here in the bottom left, it's Will, isn't it? GL, he says. Now this worker over here, this is what? Who does that? Who builds a pylon there? I'll tell you who. Will builds a pylon there, doesn't he? Look at that for a place. I don't know about this, Will. I definitely don't know about gas first. What craziness is afoot here? Yeah.
Will be winning.
You reckon? This is just weird. And look, the gas is finished, and there isn't even like a gateway done yet. This is making me sick. What are you doing, Will? Come on, stop this nonsense. Gas is finished, and we've only got one worker in it. Like that super early gas that delayed your gateway, but you're only mining with one worker. That does not sound efficient to me. In supervv, maybe it's super W. Yeah, like W, like they have in like French and stuff. It's not a W, it's double V. I don't know. Anyway, things look much more normal. Here comes a worker. He's heading in for a scout. He's going to have a bit of a look around. He's going to see the Nexus time in, and he's going to be like, oh, Nexus time in. Nexus down before the gateway even finishes up. So this is a very, very weird build. Second gas coming down, but there's only 2 workers mining from the first. The side core just going down is, I don't know, man. You know, I mean, in general, deciding whether or not you are, side or Nexus first, it involves scouting, and Will has done this much scouting, 0, nada, zip. But it looks like he wants to get aggressive. There's a pylon on the other side of the map here, and I wouldn't mind this being a proxied starport, Stargate rather. You know, drop the Stargate here, drop the shield batteries here, and get the Void Ray up in your opponent's base doing damage. The pylon arguably needs to be a little bit further forward so you can creep those shield batteries, but at the same time you do not... Oh, it's a robo? Interesting. Very interesting. What you don't want is to build something so close that your opponent hears it, you know, or catches a whiff of it. Not that supervv has actually scouted this area of the space. What? Double robo? This isn't a build. It just isn't. So 2 Nexus finished, but no workers in production. This is weird. What is this going to be? Like an immortal push? Does the SCV see it? Does he? Oh, you're kidding me. He doesn't see it. That is savagery. Because if he sees it, these Marines come down and just shut this down so hard it looks like the silliest idea you've ever seen. It is going to be some sort of weird immortal. What? Okay. I still don't really know what I'm saying. So there's an immortal building and a prism building from the other robo. I have never seen 2 robos before the 3.5 minute mark. I don't believe ever, really. So this is just surreal. Once you've got more robos than gateways, you know that it's a weird game. Yeah, but if these immortals come in, they could be a real handful. Now, maybe Will's going to be flexing his micro. Maybe he's going to be doing some immortal juggling. That can be very effective. Is Stim on the way? It is, but it's only just started, and it does take a long time. So it could be hard to catch the prism. Once Stim is finished, it's so easy to catch. You know, a quick tap on the T button, and in you pop with the Stim, and you get under that prism and you shut it down hard. And immortals, you know, they're not great against Marines. They're not bad though against. Oh, he's going to take Stim out. This is going to be pretty painful if he gets Stim. Now the immortals, yeah, we haven't seen any like juggling just yet. In general, you want to trigger the shield and then run. But the Marines are going to come in. Is he going to get this first immortal? Is Will? Yeah, he does. What was the, like, So much for the fancy prism micro. Will just plain loses the first immortal. So that is a shame, but Super V needs to repair this tech lab, otherwise it will burn before Stim is done. He needs to repair it quite fast. Oh no, Super V. No, that's Stim. So anyway, these Marines are going to come in, and unfortunately they are spreading the shots. So this immortal's taken some of the shots and this one's taken some. Otherwise that immortal would have gone down much quicker, so a little bit of focus firing would have went a long way. There's 2 more mortals in production, and Super V really needs to shut this down. One of the things he might consider doing is getting a bunker on the high ground here, so that when the prism flies in, you've got some Marines in place in a bunker, and that makes things a little bit trickier, makes the micro harder. Over here, Will isn't even building workers. He is hoping to win outright with this. So Super V needs to play this carefully. Interestingly, SCVs are actually pretty good against immortals. So if he can get the surround here with the SCVs, and he does, what you want to do though is get the SCVs past the immortals so you can body block it. So you need to use a little bit of cunning micro. Again, trigger that barrier and run from the immortal. Let the barrier time out. Otherwise, you're just shooting a barrier that has a timer on it. You're not really achieving anything. So trigger the barrier and run. But with the SCVs, what you want to do is right-click the minerals here. SCVs can walk under other units. This is enough gateways, though. It's enough racks to just win this, because Marines, like immortals, you know, I'll trade Marines for immortals all day long. They trade pretty well against immortals. So all he needs to do is kill this pylon, and that's GG. I mean, what tech has Will got? He's got 3 gates. 3 gates. He's got 2 bases that aren't saturated. He's now, you know, restarting probe production, but my goodness, it's 7 minutes and you haven't even saturated your natural. He's in trouble. You know, as we've seen a few times before, weird builds, there's a reason you don't see them that often, and it tends to be because they're just not good. So Super V, you know, 7 minutes deep, and where is the starport? If you've got this many Marines, you really need medevacs to heal these bad boys up. I feel like the longer Super V waits here, the lower his chances of winning this can become, because you know, you have just annihilated this. You must realize that for your opponent to have built double robo over here so early, they have sacrificed a huge amount. So get across the map and get up in their face. You know, maybe drop a scan and see what you're up against, and that's it. By the way, I'll give you a clue. That's it. 4 stalkers with no upgrades is what you're up against. Literally march across the map and smash this. Will has got the most ridiculous mineral bank despite not having any workers. You know, the macro hasn't been happening, but if you wait long enough, you will let them back into this game. Now, do these Marines have any upgrades? I don't believe they do. Finally, the starport comes down. I do apologize, Super V. The Marines are 1-1, so literally, it's, you know, pull the trigger on this, get across the map and wreck your opponent. Personally, I'd have swapped this starport, given how late it is, onto the barracks with the reactor so that I could get medevac production 2 at a time. Let's have a look at the income tab. Super V heavily ahead. Let's have a look at the army tab. Super V heavily ahead. Ahead on workers, ahead on army, ahead on income, ahead on upgrades. There isn't a metric by which he isn't ahead. So, you know, why wait? Just go across the map and win. Because if you wait, you're just giving your opponent the chance to get back into the game. It's a Protoss, they can be tricky. You never know when DTs are going to turn up in your base, or Storm is going to ruin your day. And, you know, Marines are squishy to Protoss splash damage. So you've just killed, it's about like 3 minutes ago now, but given that you killed 2 robos, you know there's no Colossus coming anytime soon. You know how much was sacrificed to make those. There isn't any splash damage coming anytime soon. The perfect time to get up in your opponent's face. Go and kill him.
SCV ready.
You know, when was the last time we had sight inside of his main base? Not that long ago. So he sees all this stuff, the gateway explosion. Will is about to have a big army, but right now he doesn't. So, you know, every minute you wait is an opportunity for him to get back in it. We've started 2-2, and I don't know, man. I can see this game going south pretty quickly if Super V isn't careful, because his production is not that large. Look at what we've got here. We've got 3 racks to factory at the 10-minute mark, rather than sort of 12 racks for factory or whatever you might think. And what we're going to discover as he drops mules and stuff, I don't think he can spend the income that he's about to have once this gets saturated. I just don't think he can. So, yeah, Will, on the other hand, can spend at a furious rate and has spent his bank. And look how much more army he's got now. Now, to be fair, he still has half the army supply of his opponent. So, unless Super V royally screws the pooch on this engage, he should be absolutely fine. Siege it. Siege it. Siege them. Siege them. Siege them. Please siege them up, please. So late with the siege up, you guys. But anyway, the tanks are now sieged. There's no splash damage here for the Protoss, and this Terran army is just going to chew through everything. It's got the upgrades. It's got the splash damage. You don't want to walk into your own tank fire, though. That is ugly. But it just doesn't matter. Everything dies for the Protoss. Look at the size of these war bins, though. As I said, like, where's the stream of reinforcements? They're parked at home. Careful, Super V. Pull back. You've got a tank line here, and your Marines are oh no! Oh, why? Why wouldn't you fight with your tanks? You know, as you've probably, as you guys have worked out by now, on the ground, tanks are king. They're the best thing the Terrans got on the ground. They are absolutely awesome. So don't engage as a Terran on the ground outside of the range of your own siege tanks. Don't. Just, you know, that's the whole thing with siege tanks. You creep them forward. Creepity creep. Creepity creep. Otherwise, you see how good they are? That was one tank. You see? So, you know, just don't be at it. I love this. This is brilliant. So the big drop is going to come in. You've got to be careful here. Probably move those tanks back before you siege them up, or just siege them up. Yeah, this is not nice to push into. Again, fighting outside of the range of your own siege tank isn't brilliant, though. These tanks coming in round the back, I'm not really sure what they're doing. Neither is Super V, but I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. Look at the army supply, 117 to 6. There's no way back from here. So really my only complaint is the engage was a little bit sloppy, but my main complaint is that Super V didn't attack a solid 5 minutes earlier, because you know what I mean, when you've just cleaned up a cheese, your opponent is ruined. Like, you know, like that's what makes it a cheese. It's only a cheese if it's a coin flip build, and building 2 robos, not even 1, 2 robos outside your opponent's base and then not winning the game from that, you're dead. I mean, you're dead. GG.